What is up, Texas A&M Aggies fans? It's your old friend IndyCarTim here with your Texas A&M Aggies Daily Blitz. It's your go-to show for Aggies football takes, touchdown talk, and the occasional roast of whatever poor SEC team just wandered into Kyle Field. And spoiler alert, this week, it was the Florida Gators. The number 5 Texas A&M Aggies took care of business Saturday night, knocking off Florida 34-17 and moving to 6-0 for the first time since 2016. That's right, the Aggies are still perfect, still climbing, and still making the rest of the SEC sweat. Now let's talk about the guy steering the ship, Marcel Reed. The man was dialed in. 2 touchdowns, 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. He had the poise of a fifth-year senior running a Waffle House during the lunch rush. Calm, collected, and cooking. A&M came out swinging touchdowns in the first 3 drives, including a nasty 22-yard score from Le'Veon Moss, who was breaking tackles like Gators were made out of tissue paper. Unfortunately, Moss limped off before halftime with an ankle injury and did not return, but he gave the Gators something to remember him by before he left. Rueben Owens stepped in late and slammed the door shut with a 2-yard touchdown that burned 8 minutes off the clock. That's not a drive. That's a game-ending statement. Meanwhile, Florida's coach Billy Napier fell to 0-14 on the road against ranked teams. At this point, it's not a stat, it's just tradition. We need to find this guy a home-only schedule because once he leaves Gainesville, it's like the Gators forgot how to play football. DJ Lagway in his return home to Texas, had his moments, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also spent half the night running from Dayon Hayes, who had that brutal strip sack that sealed the game there near the end. The defense for A&M, they ate Lagway, they ate the offensive line, plain and simple. And look, I know this was kind of supposed to be a trap game. I called for a trap game before the Mississippi State game. Not meaning that the Aggies necessarily were going to lose, but just that in previous years, previous Aggies teams, not that long ago, would find ways to lose the games that you're supposed to win, whether it's on the road, well, especially on the road, but even at Kyle Field, against teams that you're clearly better than. The Aggies found ways to lose, whether it was from self-implosion. And by the way, the Aggies, three penalties for 30 yards tonight. So that Coach's Cabo fund is suffering a little bit. But it seems like they're clearing up the penalties. But, yeah, this was another one of those games with an opponent that you're clearly better than. But you had every opportunity, if you wanted to just lose it and hand it away. That is not happening with this year's Mike Elko team. And it's refreshing, and it's got them to 6-0, 3-0 now in the SEC, and probably climbing a little bit higher in the rankings after Oregon lost. So, look, this team isn't just winning. They're winning in different ways. Sometimes it's through the air. Sometimes it's on the ground. And it's always with grit. And that is the difference between Mike Elko's Texas A&M Aggies team and Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M Aggies team. So next up, it's Arkansas. The Aggies head to Fayetteville with the perfect record still intact and a little more swagger in their step. And again, it's another game that previous teams might overlook. I don't think that's the case with Mike Elko's team. Now, am I guaranteeing a win? Of course not. It's the SEC. I know Arkansas sucks. They just fired Sam Pittman. They've got, I don't know, do we even want to say his name? No, we're not even going to say his name. Bobby Petrino as the interim head coach. Of course, with ties to A&M under Jimbo Fisher. But, yeah, it's going to be one that we'll have to prepare for. We will do another preview episode right here on the Texas A&M Aggies Blitz, right here on FanStream Sports. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Let me know your thoughts at IndyCarTim across all social media, or if you're watching the video on FanStream Sports YouTube page, just drop us a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were for the Gators game and coming up against Arkansas. Until next time, boys and girls, we'll see you.